Hi Vine community, John here. So I'm going to continue on with my finds that I found in Stockholm. Continuing on with the ones that I got from the kind of the thrift store charity shop type thing. Spinning, I'm playing this. I thought I'd play it a little louder in the beginning because it's a really cool record. This is one I found. Paid a little bit more for this, but really good. Easy to express, do it till you're satisfied. Very funky. I've been playing quite a lot recently. But turn it down a bit so we can hear me speak. Okay, so got a big stack of records here which I'm going to try and breeze through so that I can then get on later in the next video to the records that I found in the record stores themselves. Okay, so the first one here I've got Talking Heads, last album, Naked. Talking Heads are not a band that I've spent much time looking into. I appreciate they're very important. It's the sort of thing that yeah, I'll get around to listening to a lot more intently when I get around to it. It's going to happen. This was a really fun one. Chuffed to bits to find this. This is a new wave of British heavy metal record called Maniacs, by a band called Maniacs. Shout it out. Yeah, pretty good condition. Really happy to find that. Only for 20 krona. So, and it's not a band I'd ever heard of before. So, yeah, that's really cool. This is an album by Men That Couldn't Hang. This is pretty much mint condition. This is in lovely condition, this is. I think it's their second album. Second or third. It's on Jive. They were a band that were popular when I was in high school in England. You know, if you like the Pogues, you like them, that kind of thing. Their first album, let me find that. So their first album is pretty cool because I've had this for years. This is a really cool album because it's got a track on it called The Green Fields of France, in brackets No Man's Land, which is, I believe is a sort of traditional French folk song. Beautiful song, really very, very nice song, and they do a great rendition of it. So, although I've never heard this, their next album, I look forward to really getting into it. I've played it, yeah, similar kind of stuff. Okay, you'll say Feliciano, this is cool. So, found a double live album, or you'll say. I particularly like this guy's stuff, you know, he's a very strong accent and he kind of puts a Latin feel to a lot of the songs he does. He's blind. And he kind of plays this sort of Spanish guitar. His most famous song that he covered, I think, was Light My Fire by the Doors. And but I find a lot of the music he does is pretty much in that sort of realm. And it almost to the point, because I've got a few of his records now, almost to the point where you feel that you know roughly what you can expect from his next record that you find, you know. And with that idea in mind, I picked this one up at the Salvation Army store. This is A Bag Full of Soul. So this is actually his second album he had out. And I thought, well, yeah, I know what it's going to sound like, pretty much the same as the other ones. But this is actually quite different. I mean, yeah. It's still very basic, it's still him singing, it's still his Spanish guitar, but it's actually got a lot of swagger in it, which surprised me. I just assumed that you know, it's all going to be fairly kind of straight-laced acoustic kind of music, but this has actually got drum and bass involved as well. I mean, it sounds a couple of steps closer to being the Rolling Stones, but like I said, it's got that rock and roll, rock swagger in it that I didn't know that he sort of had it employed any time. So I really like this record. I've listened to this one a lot. It's got a nice sort of attitude feeling to it. This was an unusual one. It's a sort of jazz record called Scania's, and the album's called Messing Around. And I picked it up just in the off chance because I've started to experiment a little bit with jazz, and I picked this up thinking, well, this may be something for me to look into. And what it is like clear blue vinyl. On the Stump label. It's like this sort of traditional sort of Charleston style jazz music, I think you'd say, and it's actually being performed by a bunch of Swedish musicians. Now, Sweden is, you know, a great lover of jazz. They've got some great jazz clubs there. And this was made in the 80s, I believe. Oh, yeah, 1980 this was released. And you can see this. I thought that it was kind of defaced when I found it because I saw all these names written over it. Oh, it's a shame, you know, lovely record. Shame people have written their names over it like I do. But I looked a bit closer and they're actually the signatures of the people performing. So I don't know if you probably can't see that there. But the signatures correspond with the names. Do a little bit of a needle drop on this later on. It'd be interesting to hear. Put that there for now. Lovely, well-preserved copy of the second Pretenders album. I already have this, pretty decent shape, but I grabbed this thinking it could possibly be an upgrade, but it's kind of sort of equal par of the one I already have. This is a lovely record, Fitzgerald. Like I said, kind of dabbling my toes in the water of jazz, and this is really nice. I'll talk a bit more about jazz records in the next, in one of my other videos coming soon. Prefab Sprout, Steve McQueen. I already have this one. This has to be one of my top 5 albums. I know I say that a lot recently about a lot of the records that I listen to, but Steve McQueen is a fantastic record. Paddy McQueen, who sort of writes and sings for the band, is an awesome songwriter. And this is, like I said, this is a mint copy. This is not bad at all for the money I paid for it. Always nice to find well-preserved copies of some of your favourite records. The Kingston Trio, folk band. Dylan has spoke about these. I don't know if they would say that they were sort of an influence on Bob Dylan, but they certainly were on the radio and sort of known about in his earlier years. So I think, although perhaps they weren't influences, they certainly didn't do anything to, you know, discourage him from becoming what he eventually became. Bio Country, Creedence Clearwater Revival, great record. I didn't have this one in my collection, so very happy to find that. Great record. Okay, Nina Simone, Sings the Blues. Chuffed to bits to find that. I don't have anything by her, and it's a lovely, lovely record. Really is a lovely record. Enjoying that immensely. Yeah, come back to that again some other time. And this one I'm going to show, this is a compilation called Dance Music from the 60s. I'm not sort of shy of sort of picking out compilations if I think that they've got something on it that I haven't heard somewhere else. And it was with that idea that I bought this, thinking it was going to be quite good. But really it is appalling. And this is such a shame because I really, really like the cover. The cover says to me that this is a record I want to listen to, I want to play it, I want to find out about it. And it is in very, very good shape. Lovely condition. What's that label? The label is called the Interdisc. But to be honest with you, the sound quality from this record is absolutely atrocious. You know, it sounds nasty. It's unpleasant to listen to. It sounds like whoever sort of put it onto vinyl had all the needles up in the red. Yeah, it's really very, very poor. So I'm not actually planning on keeping this. This will find its way in the pile that you know, the outbox, if you like. Straight away. Normally I hang on to records for a while, give them a chance to listen to them and see if I want to keep them or not. But this one is going to be ejected fairly soon, which is a shame because, like I said, I like the cover. It says to me, this is a record that I want to listen to. But, okay, so this guy, this is an interesting record that I found. Kingston Tree. He plays something which I'd never heard of before. Apparently it's an established form, a type of music called Zydeco. I think that's how you pronounce it, Zydeco. I'll write it here, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrongly, I don't know. But I'd never heard of it before, and it's an interesting thing to sort of read up about. Basically what it is, it's blues music with a sort of a French twist on it. So you see he's playing this piano accordion here, and his brother, can't remember his name, I'll write that here somewhere too. His brother plays this washboard thing on his chest. And so these Zydeco musicians and artists, that's what they did. They played this other kind of southern states of America, I'm thinking like Louisiana, places like that, where this music originates from. I'm sure there's a lot of history entwined in all of that, which I can't call to mind right now, but maybe I'll put a little write-up here too somewhere for you to see that. But very, very interesting record to find. It's quite fun to listen to. It's a bit of an odd thing because you don't really associate sort of this piano accordion that you often think of with French music with blues. But lo and behold, yeah, they do it, and do it very well too. So I'm going to do a little call out now to Björn Jakobsson. Björn has a VC channel, lives in Stockholm. I had a short little bit of correspondence with Björn shortly after Record Store Day, in which I asked him about this particular second-hand shop, Myrorna, on the other side of Stockholm from where I used to be. And I can remember I was in this particular place in Stockholm for about 15 years or so ago, and when I was passing through there I saw, wow, they've got hundreds of thousands of records there, loads of them. This was, you know, when no one else was interested, and I didn't have a chance to look at them all or even scratch the surface really, and I never have got round to going back there to look at them. And you know, things get in the way, don't they? Job, kids, dog, wife, everything, you know, you just don't have a chance to do everything you want to do, sadly. But this time I've been in Stockholm and I had none of those kind of things in my way, and I thought, well, brilliant, I'm going to go to there, check them out. Björn said, well, yeah, they've still got records, but since the record boom, nothing really of any interest. And he was absolutely right. The amount of records they had has greatly just diminished since I was last there anyway. And there wasn't an awful lot there. The only thing I did find was this is a double, a single, it's a gatefold sleeve. A single, you'll say Feliciano, compilation called Encore, and this compilation, Feliciano 10 to 23, which is kind of an unusual compilation because it's got some tracks that he sounds like he recorded on a little mono hoop recorder when he was 10, hence the title 10 to 23. So I found those there in Stockholm. But beyond what I want to say is that yeah, check out Maniacs and Robson, because all these records I've just shown today, apart from those last two and the ones I showed in my last video, I collected from Maniacs just in the past 3 weeks. And very well priced too. So if I was you, I'd give it a while because I've bagged a lot for myself, but certainly worth checking in there again sometime soon. Okay, so that's all of my, well, most of my finds. There's a few that I got that I'm not going to show, like common records that you've seen a million times. But the next one in this little series of my finds in Stockholm will be focusing on what I found in record stores there in Stockholm. Okay, thanks very much for watching my video. Bye.